Taxpayers all across the country tonight outraged over tax hikes that could affect everything from shopping bags to wine, cell phone usage as well. But when it comes to cell phones, few are being hit as hard as New Yorkers. The New York Post reporting today on the 11 federal, state, and city taxes that New Yorkers must pay on their cell phone bills. Those fees could add as much as 33% to cell phone costs. People trying to save money are being hit the hardest, of course. The highest tax rates are on the cheapest plans and multi-line family plans. Tax hikes like that have sparked plans for nationwide protests this Wednesday, April 15th, the deadline for tax returns. And in a modern-day revival of the Boston Tea Party, organizers want Americans to send tea bags to their congressmen to show their anger at how this government is handling the economic crisis. Brianna Keeler has our report.
It's a modern-day Boston Tea Party, a scene that's played out in recent weeks from Los Angeles to Oklahoma City to Jacksonville, Florida. Protests against taxes, the bailout, the $787 billion stimulus, and President Obama's budget.
You are spending money we don't have on social programs we don't need to fix problems that you have caused.
A coalition of conservative groups have recruited protest organizers online, and on Wednesday, Tax Day, hundreds of U.S. cities will host the small protests, according to various estimates by organizers. They're also encouraging Americans to send tea bags to their members of Congress, and a U.S. Postal Service spokeswoman tells CNN employees have noticed some spillage of tea as they sort mail headed for Capitol Hill.
And Lou, the Democratic response here on Capitol Hill is to minimize the reach of these protests, questioning whether or not they're really grassroots protests, while at the same time emphasizing President Obama's tax plan, a tax cut for most Americans, but not all Americans, Lou.
Well, there's some humor in that, isn't there? Because most of the demonstrations that we've seen across the country from, if you will, the left or the Democratic Party have been organized by MoveOn.org, various special interest groups of all sorts, depending on the protest. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that there would be organized political involvement in this, right, Brianna?
No, and there's not. And you're here, depending on who you talk to, Lou, if you're listening from the right here on Capitol Hill, they're emphasizing the grassroots organization. If you listen to the left, they're emphasizing that there are some conservative groups who are involved. But the truth seems to really lie in the middle, that there are a lot of people, individual Americans, who are fed up, you know, who are worried about taxes and worried about economic approaches. And they're going through websites in some cases from some of these groups who are allowing them to organize and set up posts on these websites so they can reach out to other people. There seems to be a little bit of both going on, Lou.
All right. And as you said, Brianna, and I happen to think it works this way most of the time, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Thanks, Brianna Keeler from Capitol Hill.